Chord. Fine. Okay. So let's start. So, shalom, everybody. My name is Susie Carty. I'm a certified family financial advisor and mediator, and I really want to say thank you so much for joining my webinar on Pesach Saving Secrets. Now, in this webinar, you will receive practical tips to help you navigate the stressful chag while staying financially stable. Now, think of me as your ways for Pesach. I'll guide you step by step so you can prepare the chag without spiraling into debt. Now, if you just access the webinar, then please say hello in the chat box that appears on the side of the screen. So, and also tell me where you're from. I know there's people from abroad that also signed up. It'd be interesting if they come so we can see what type of community is here today. And if you have any questions, please put them into the chat box and I will try and answer them during the webinar. But don't worry, I do have a dedicated Q&A session at the end. Now, before we actually dive into the contents of the webinar, I really would like it if you could take this hour just for yourself. So I ask you to close unnecessary programs, perhaps silence your phone, you're listening to the webinar on your phone, yeah? And maybe even shut the door, since this webinar is packed with valuable information, and I really would like you to get the most out of it. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to say hello to Carol, Aviva, Debbie, Dvora, Esther, Faye, Helena, Debbie again, Judy, Ruth, Sharon, Talbi, Tehila, Timna, Zoa, and Julie. I'm sure more people will come as they go. Anyhow, so we also have people from Efrat, from Hadassah, from Kfar Saba. It's a curse. Okay, now it's actually very natural for me to have a webinar on Pesach, right? Yeah, of course. But I don't always broadcast the webinar before Pesach. So why did I choose this year? Okay, this year, more than ever, families are feeling the financial strain. We have a huge rise in the price of food and the cost of living. So new strategies are needed to navigate this expensive hug. However, my inspiration also came from, I belong to a wonderful group run by Hani Schreiber. She lives in the UK and she's the editor of a fantastic women's magazine called Uplift. And I've been seeing the struggles that people are having due to this hug. Anyhow, also throughout my 18 years of experience as a family financial advisor, I saw how last minute shopping, the lack of budgeting, and the pressure to meet high expectations led families to overspend. So I knew it was time to go to show that it's possible to celebrate this hug without breaking the bank. Now, this webinar is I'm not going to talk about how stressful and expensive or hectic Pesach can be. We already know that. I'm here to guide you, to give you practical tools how you can make Pesach special without financial stresses. My goal is to help you navigate Pesach with clear, actionable steps. All this inspired me to broadcast my popular webinar on Pesach Smart Saving Secrets. So what we're going to talk about in this webinar, I'm going to talk about budgeting for Pesach, how to set a realistic spending plan that keeps you financially stable, efficient cleaning on a budget, smart ways to deep clean without overspending on professional services or expensive products, and the importance of a meal plan. Being organized with your meals not only ensures that everybody enjoys every bite, but also incorporates leftovers and avoids last-minute rushing off to the shops that can prove to be expensive, and also smart shopping strategies. Receive fantastic tips to organize your shopping according to your meal so you avoid unnecessary purchases and your bank account always stays healthy, like this one. Anyhow, now Pesach should be a time of spiritual connection and family togetherness, not financial strain. But with the right approach, you can enjoy a meaningful hug hopefully keeping to your budget. And by the end of this webinar, you'll have a clear, actionable plan to navigate the cost of Pesach with confidence and ease. And doesn't that sound good? So you're in the right place. If you're ready to take control of your finances this Pesach, then this webinar is for you. Just by investing a valuable hour will help you secure your financial well-being. And I'm really excited to share valuable insights and answer your questions. So let's jump in and make this Pesach as financially stress-free as possible. Now, for those of you who are joining me for the first time, welcome. Just let me take a little couple of minutes to introduce myself. I'm a certified family financial advisor and mediator. I have over 18 years of experience, and my journey started with a degree in business management in the UK, and I also graduated with distinction. Now, in 1983, I actually made Aliyah. I know I've been here for yonts. I worked in high-tech and venture capital companies in administration and financial roles. Now, in 2007, I actually started to become a family financial advisor. And the end of 2008, I opened up my own business. And since then, I've helped hundreds of families and individuals achieve financial stability. And today, don't miss the opportunity, since you can become one of them. So one of my questions are you struggling to get organized for Pesach? Are you tired of the financial stress during Pesach? So do the costs of cleaning, buying the food, new clothes, making your kitchen kosher Pesach, wondering how will you ever manage the chag without spiraling into debt? So I am actually thrilled to introduce my Pesach Smart Savings Program, designed to help you not just survive, but to thrive financially during this chag. And this program provides a step-to-step guide to handling all Pesach-related expenses, from cleaning supplies to kosher the food to new clothes, without breaking the bank. So at the end of this webinar, I will be offering an exclusive opportunity to guarantee this and take your financial Pesach skills to the next level with amazing bonuses and a special webinar offer. So stay tuned, since I will share all the details later. But for now, let's focus on what you came here for. Pesach Saving Secrets, in other words, easy tips for better finances. So here, everybody, now I'm going to ask you to participate. What does Pesach mean to you? I'd like you to go back to one of your earliest Pesach memories. Like, where were you? How observant was your family? Did you celebrate with big sedorim or a small one? Intimate gatherings? I'd love you to share your memories. Okay, so I'm going to share with you one of my memories, one of my first memories of Pesach, and it's actually connected to my father. I have to tell you, it was so impactful that even I mentioned this incident at his birth. So I must have been about 4 or 5. That's when childhood memories start, and they also remember them. It was just before Pesach. And like every year, my father would have to go up into the attic and retrieve our Pesach supplies. But instead of watching my father go up, I saw something that left such a lasting impression, because it was, for me, it was truly terrifying. It looked like this, a creature, a full-blown monster in my young eyes. And it was being poured into the attic. It wore my mother's pink shower cap, a battered old raincoat, and enormous galoshes. Remember those? The sight was so horrifying that I actually screamed in terror. And moments later, this monster descended and revealed itself to be my father. That's how he looked. He had come down specially to reassure me, explaining that he had to dress that way to protect him from the attic's dust and grime. But for me, the damage was done, as you can see. The moment left a lasting mark. And the trauma didn't end there, because when Seder night arrived, I had to struggle through with a Seder that just went on and on and on and on, like an eternity. I wasn't eating. They didn't give me food, so my stomach was growling. And then the meal came along and it tasted weird because it was cooked in different pots and pans. And then there was this all matzah business. Pesach, year after year, was overwhelming. The relentless cooking. My mother stressed, beginning as early as Purim. Can anyone relate to this? Okay, so I would like to just do my first poll. It's anonymous. And I would like to ask you, what is your major, biggest, here we are. What is your biggest?
This meeting is being recorded.
Who's recording?
No, I'm not. You're recording.
I am recording. Okay, fine. So let's see what your biggest. Okay. Fine. So I'm going to now end the poll. Has everybody answered? Okay. Fine. So, wow. So we have the cleaning is the most challenging. Oh, Maria, I'm going to share the results. Can you see the results? Mm-hmm. Okay. So the cleaning is the most challenging aspect of Pesach. Okay. So I'm going to do stop sharing and I'm going to go back to the webinar. Okay. So we know that cleaning is the most challenging part of Pesach. Okay, so let's carry on. Anyhow, so let's get back to me. As you can see, there's a picture of cleaning because everybody hates cleaning. So even after making Aliyah and starting my own family, Pesach remained the time of the year that I couldn't, all I wanted to do was go to sleep and wake up when all the mayhem was over. But then something changed. And if you want to know what, first of all, I do need to give you some background. So I'm going to take a couple of minutes and share my personal journey, how I went from really bad at handling my finances to becoming a leading family financial advisor in Israel. You see, when I was single, managing my finances was easy. It was just me. But like with many, my money woes started when I got married and started a family. We earned well, but we constantly found ourselves struggling to make ends meet. And as you can imagine, Pesach just added to this financial stress. But what was one of the biggest challenges that we had? We never really sat down and had a serious conversation about money. And to complicate things even further, he was Israeli, I was English, so we had different money languages. Yeah. Sounds familiar to anyone? Also, another major reason for our stress was our complete lack of financial planning. We were totally lost in the financial jungle since we didn't have a clear roadmap to our destination. It's like getting to a car without Waze and without a map. Will you eventually arrive at your destination? Who knows? Also, our approach to money was, shall we say, pretty relaxed, relying on the Borei Olam. He will make sure everything's okay. Hakol yeh beseder, everything will be okay. But in reality, things really weren't. They weren't really working. So we had a big wake-up call when my husband received a huge bonus from work. And what happened to the bonus? It just went off to pay our debts. And that was the moment we realized that we had to do something. So we went off and did a budgeting course, and the impact was immediately. Though I have to tell you that our financial situation dramatically improved when I helped a family member on the verge of bankruptcy become financially stable. Now, it was really challenging because it was a family member, but with all my clients, it's very important that they don't feel deprived and that the system I implement is easy to follow. And my system is really simple and straightforward and really effective. So let's get back to the family member. With my methods, not only did they reach the financial target that we had set for them, but they actually exceeded them. Now, the entire extended family was in shock, so was I, because I was really chuffed with myself that I had succeeded where so many had failed. Now, watching this family member turn the financial situation around at the golden age showed me that it's never too late to take control. And if they can do it, so can you. That's what I think. Anyhow, inspired by the family member success, because it was so easy to rectify, I decided to study to become a family financial advisor. I remember it was a real major investment. I actually took out a loan to pay for it. It's okay to take out a loan to invest in the future. But you know, it was worth every single shekel, because even if I hadn't pursued it as a career, which I love and enjoy, the impact on my family's finances made it all worthwhile. So once I completed my studies, our financial situation drastically changed. We applied everything I had learned, and within months, we went from living in debt to debt-free. We carefully planned how to allocate our money, and for the first time, our expenses no longer exceeded our income. Even better, we managed to save without lowering our standard of living. Oh, the power of budgeting. Just like this client, here we are. We have a testimonial. You put me on the right track very fast with the formula budgeting system, and it was so easy to follow. I'm not petrified to look at my bank statement every day, knowing exactly what my status is. I never believed that budgeting could be so empowering. Yeah. So I'm sure you're asking, how does this tie into Pesach? Which is a great question. You can ask questions in the chat box. When you get notes from the webinar, I highly recommend that you take notes yourself. Now, I realized that financial planning had removed so much stress from our lives, and it was just so easy to implement. Why not apply the same methods to Pesach? So one year, what did I do? I decided to plan everything in advance using a Pesach preparation flowchart that we will learn today. And guess what? This year, that year, for the first time, I actually enjoyed the hug, even the food. And the best part was, thanks to budgeting, we were able to cover all our expenses for the whole month of Pesach without going into overdraft. Isn't that amazing? So today I'm going to share with you the tools and strategies that helped me along the way. Now, if any part of my story actually resonates with you, I do recommend taking notes, because you want to implement these tips and make this Pesach the smoothest, most financially stressed one yet. So we're going to start on a budget. Now, all of you who took part in the survey, I want to say thank you, but I would like to tell you that nobody actually makes a budget for Pesach. So we're going to rectify this. We know that Pesach is a lovely chag, but it can be really financially challenging for many families. Between the cleaning, the purchasing of kosher Pesach food, buying new clothes, hosting large meals, the expenses can quickly add up. However, with careful planning and a well-structured budget, it's possible to celebrate Pesach without going into financial stress. Yes, you heard me right. This webinar will guide you through the steps of creating a budget that aligns with your financial situation while ensuring a meaningful and enjoyable Chag. So the first step that we need to do is to understand the various expenses associated with the Chag. The cleaning, special cleaning supplies, maybe hiring professional cleaners, the food, special kosher Pesach food tends to be more expensive than regular groceries, such as matzot or shmor matzot, special kosher meats. And that can also create a drain on the finances. And also many families purchase new clothing for the Chag, particularly for children. That's another financial consideration. Hosting a Seder, an essential part of Pesach, often involves preparing meals for a large number of guests, which leads to, of course, higher grocery bills. Sharon was just talking about that. Additionally, some people give gifts to hosts or contribute to stock up. Also, for those of you who decide to travel to family or attending Pesach programs, Transportation, accommodation, and other related costs must be factored into the budget. Now, once you have a very clear picture of your potential expenses, the next step is to assess your current financial situation. Like, understand your actual income, savings, and existing financial obligations. Determine how much you can realistically allocate to Pesach without jeopardizing your overall financial stability. Calculate your monthly household income. You wouldn't believe it. So many people don't know how much income the household receives every month. Also, understand your fixed expenses, your rent, your mortgage, utilities, and of course your liabilities. By understanding your financial position, you can set a realistic spending limit and avoid unnecessary debt. Is this clear? You can just say yes, no, fine. If you need to answer a question, ask a question, just put it into the chat box. Oh, great, thank you. Okay, so how do we do this? Now, if you've been budgeting like me over the years, I think we're going to do another poll question, I think. Let's just see who budgets, who works with the budget. Do you budget? Here we are. Okay, do you budget? Now, what's very interesting, I love when I do this, because then I compare it to the Israeli society. And I have to say that usually it's the same, not the same. Okay. Right. I'm going to end the poll now. Then you can see for yourselves. The majority of you don't budget. Okay, that's interesting, because usually when I'm on webinars, the majority of you do budget. So there is a reason why you turned up to this webinar today. Right. So I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to go back. Anyhow. Okay. So if you've been budgeting over the years, like I have, you can likely estimate this year's expenses based on past trends, right? But if you're new to budgeting, and say, for example, you only started like a year ago, and let's take the example of food, since it's most relevant, I suggest that you calculate an increase for Pesach food. Now, you're probably wondering, what percentage should that be? I don't know, because it really depends on factors like your family size, where they're going to be entertaining guests, and your level of kashrut. Now, I wish I had a magic formula to give you, but I don't. But I do have some really practical advice, so stick with me until the end of the webinar. Now, for those of you who are financially savvy and manage your money flawlessly without a financial plan or budget, no, seriously, let me ask you, can you think of any successful business that doesn't operate with a budget? Because budgeting is essential and guarantees financial success. Try it. You might be surprised by the results. Okay, this is my little spiel about budgeting, so let's carry on. Now, my recommendation here, if you don't budget, is to review your food bills from the last 3 months to see how much you typically spend. Then add a percentage to cover the extra cost of Pesach. And you can also do this with other budgeting clauses, like cleaning or the clothes. And this will help you get a realistic estimate of your chag expenses. So I have a few practical tips. The food. Set aside a fixed amount for food for the entire month of April. Adjust your menu and spending to stick to this limit, and it can be done. Yeah, I understand it will take a bit of time to plan, but it's so worth it to avoid that overdraft at the end of the month. Now, if you go struggling with this, I do have a solution for you at the end of the webinar. And let's go on to cleaning. We'll cover some money-saving cleaning tips to help you get your household kosher Pesach. Now, clothing. If you want to buy new clothes for the chag, I'm going to talk about children. Start by taking stock of what your children really need and set a clothing allowance. Do some market research to ensure you're getting the best value for your money. And there's still time to order from Israel, maybe from abroad. Now, if you decided to travel, not be at home for Pesach, which I think is a fantastic idea, be aware that it can be expensive. And for those of you who haven't saved up, consider paying it in installments. But if you're also planning a summer getaway, plan an installment schedule carefully so it doesn't overlap with the summer vacation stops. Now, let's go on to entertainment. Now, many places are closed on Chol Hamoed. Isn't that nice? And Pesach is a great time for quality family time, whether it's a day trip, a movie, or just a simple picnic. Create a budget for these activities. And if friends suggest an expensive item, feel free to propose a budget-friendly alternative, because the goal is to be together and not be financially stressed about it. So my main tip is create a workable budget for the month of April that covers all the Pesach-related expenses and stick to that amount, and you avoid falling into overdraft. I have to tell you that falling into the pit of overdraft is really, really easy, but it's so much more difficult to climb out of it. Now, after Pesach, take some time to reflect on your spending. Were your estimates accurate? Did unexpected expenses arise? And that was something else in the survey that people were concerned about. What do we do with unexpected expenses? Add another 10% onto your budget. Now, use this experience to fine-tune your budget for next year. Keep records. Note where you overspent. Note where you saved. So also, here I do recommend, because none of you did it, according to the survey, consider setting aside small amounts each month. Okay, even if it's 50 shekels, even if it's 100 shekels, even if it's 200 shekels, so that you, I think it eases the financial burden for next year. And don't forget to keep your Pesach list, because they're a gold mine of time-saving insights for next year. Okay, now, celebrating Pesach is creating memories. As we saw at the beginning of the webinar, okay, my memory of my dad is so impactful. Now, but with smart financial planning, you can focus on the spiritual significance of the chag rather than the financial strain. By understanding your financial situation, setting a realistic budget, prioritizing expenses, and tracking your expenses, you can have a Pesach that's both meaningful and financially manageable. So let's make this run up to Pesach a time for thoughtful budgeting so you can really enjoy the chag without financial worry. So I'm going to start on everybody's favorite topic, as you can imagine, is cleaning. Yeah, okay, it's not everybody's favorite topic. I can understand that. But for most people, I think that cleaning can be a little bit overwhelming, both in terms of time and costs and energy. Families often spend a small fortune on cleaning supplies, professional services, and even replacing the household items. But here's the good news. You don't need to break the bank to get your home kosher Pesach. With some smart planning and a few cost-saving strategies, you can have really clean thoroughly, halachically, and affordably. So let's start on what I learned. Focus on what really needs to be cleaned. Okay, now I'm not a rabbi. I don't claim to be one, but I did receive a valuable lesson from my wonderful cousin, Rabbi Leventhal. You see, when I was a young man, he called me up and to set the record straight. He said Pesach cleaning is about removing chametz, not spring cleaning. And he explained that only areas where food is stored or eaten needs to be deep cleaning. That means the bathrooms, the closets, and ceiling fans don't need an extra scrub down. He told me, Susie, you don't have to clean as if Eliyahu Hanavi is coming for a home inspection. Okay, so from that year on, I was very grateful that he actually phoned me up. I actually focused on the kitchen, the dining areas, and places where snacks were eaten. However, if I did have extra time, I cleaned other areas only because I love sitting at the Seder table, knowing that my whole house is spick and span. Okay, so let's carry on. Let's talk about making your own cleaning supplies, right? With the prices rising, every shekel counts. So why spend a fortune on fancy branded cleaners when you can make your own just for a few shekels? For example, vinegar, baking soda, and lemon juice are powerful, natural, and budget-friendly cleaners. A simple mix of vinegar and water works just as well as store-bought all-purpose cleaners, if not better. And baking soda, amazing for scrubbing stains. Now, I have to tell you that not only do these DIY solutions save money, but they're also eco-friendly and safe for your family. Do you want some more tips? All you have to do is ask Google or go to YouTube tutorials. Another thing is, I'm amazed how people sometimes buy out the whole shop when they've got so much stuff at home. First of all, I do suggest that you take stock of what you have. And before rushing out to buy new sponges, clothes, brushes, let's see what you've got, like old t-shirts, perfect cleaning rags, an old toothbrush, great for scrubbing tiny corners. I want to talk about these disposable wipes. They're great inventions, but I'd much rather use reusable microfiber cloths. They last longer, you can wash them, and they also save money. And let's talk about these disposable gloves, another great invention. But I would, especially for Pesach, opt for the thicker washing up gloves because they also last longer and they're better for the environment. And then we have, we do need to buy cleaning supplies. But let's be a little bit strategic. Okay, so we look for sales in bulk deals, choose store brands over expensive name brands, visit discount stores like Max or Stocks in Israel for budget-friendly cleaning supplies. They're much cheaper than the supermarket. And if you're buying in bulk, split the cost with friends or neighbors. And another thing, borrowing instead of buying. Maybe you need to have a steam cleaner or a Dyson vacuum that cleans carpet. So instead of buying or renting, check with friends who might have one. And it's so much cheaper than buying one. I know that abroad, you can actually rent them, but it's not. I didn't find one here in Israel. And of course, what happens when you don't want to clean? Such a legitimate excuse, don't you think? No, but not everybody has the time or the energy or the patience to clean for Pesach. Or perhaps you rather save your strength for cooking and hosting. So here are some options. First of all, hire a student. Many students would love to earn some extra money during this time. Also, you can hire a yeshiva student, because if you want to have somebody who's more knowledgeable in halakha, many yeshiva boys offer Pesach cleaning services at a lower cost than professional cleaners. Now, if you already have a cleaner, write them a clear task list so they know exactly what needs to be done for Pesach. And another thing that I've learned from my clients, if you join forces with neighbors, because if you live in an apartment building, consider hiring a cleaning service as a group, because many companies offer discounts when cleaning multiple homes in the same building. Now, if you want to have a professional cleaner and you can't find it, there are many companies that you can find online. All you need to do is do a Google search to compare prices and reviews. But the problem here is what type of cleaner you're going to receive. Who knows? It's the luck of the draw. And another thing is to plan ahead to avoid last-minute costs. A well-organized flow chart saves time, stress, and, of course, money. So I recommend start with decluttering. It makes cleaning so much easier. Use a flow chart to break tasks into manageable steps. And I have one specially designed for you. Tackle one area at a time, starting with a chametz-prone stop. And also assign the task to family members, because even a 7-year-old can polish silver. And remember, it's not a one-person show. No one gives out medals for doing it all alone. Now, I want to say, I wrote in the WhatsApp group, for those of you who belong there, that this webinar is different from all the other webinars I have ever given. I've been giving them since 2012. I've given over 80 of them. And this is the first time ever that I have a webinar just consisting of women. I don't know what to make of it, how to process this, but it's a great, I think it's a lot of fun just to give a webinar to women. Anyhow, let's get back. So my bottom line about cleaning is clean smarter, not harder. Okay, now I want to talk about the menu planning and why it's such a must. Because let's be real, Pesach is not just like any other chag. It's 8 days of festive meals, okay, and dietary restrictions, and a supermarket bill that can make your head spin between hosting the Seder and guests and making sure that no one gets stuck eating just nuts and potatoes. Planning ahead is a lifesaver. But menu planning isn't just about what's for dinner. It's also about keeping your sanity, sticking to a budget and avoid unnecessary stress. And here's how a little planning can make your Pesach smoother, more enjoyable, and of course more affordable. So the advantage of making a menu planner is keeping costs under control. Now, if you don't want to feel that, oh my goodness moment at the checkout when you see how much you have spent, because we know that kosher and Pesach products are expensive, but it's without a plan, a meal plan, it's just so easy to overspend. Okay, so if you plan your menu in advance, one, you can set a budget and stick to it. Buy only what you need instead of panic buying that extra things because you're going to say, oh, just in case. And of course, take advantage of sales by stocking up on essentials before prices spike. And I have to say, I've been looking at this throughout the year because a lot of products are kosher Pesach the whole year round in Israel. So a little planning means more money in your pocket and less stress when the credit card bill arrives. Okay, here we have reducing food waste and, of course, the guilt. Pesach is different from the rest of the year because you're buying special ingredients that may never see the light of day after the chag. I don't know about you, but do you have half-filled bags of Pesach flour in the cabinet from last year? Yeah, we've all been there. So a smart menu plan ensures that every ingredient gets used. Leftovers are repurposed into new meals and you only buy what you need. So less waste, less guilt, less money and food thrown away. Okay, now another one is making sure that everyone eats well. So Pesach can sometimes feel a little limited, but if you don't plan ahead, you might be ending up eating the same thing over and over and hating it after day 4. But with a little bit of foresight, you can make sure your meals are balanced. Lots of fresh veggies, proteins and goodies. Delicious. Who says Pesach food has to be boring? Surprise, surprise. I've got something for you at the end of the webinar. And kid-friendly because not every child wants to eat gefilte fish. I don't understand why. It's really delicious. And most importantly, it also avoids that dreaded feeling of, what on earth am I going to make today? Okay, so here we have planning for guests without going overboard. Look, if you're hosting guests, it's so tempting to make too much food. We all suffer from this as being leadership mamas. Because you're going to say, oh, what happens if somebody's going to feel hungry? But you know deep down inside, that's never going to happen in your house. But over-preparing leads to extra expenses, unnecessary work, and a fridge packed with leftover food. So a good menu helps you portion meals wisely. Not everybody is going to take that piece of chicken and the meat and the rice and the potatoes. So calculating wisely is really essential. Your guests will be happy, I promise you, and so will your budget. Because the more prepared you are, the smoother and less stressful the Pesach will be. So my Pesach Smart Savings Program will help you out with this. So my bottom line is menu planning means a happier bank account. So instead of worrying about food, you can focus on celebrating with family, enjoying a meaningful times together. And actually, believe it or not, you can relax on Pesach. I know it's a bit foreign, but you can do that. So I wanted to give you a testimonial of a client that used my menu template. I used your menu template and it was amazing. It made shopping and cooking so much easier. But the best part was I stuck to the meal planner on the fridge. So my kids didn't drive me crazy on what there is to eat. Also, my cooking time was reduced because I knew exactly what I needed to make. I even gave the template to my friends. Thanks a million. And now I'm going to take you again back to my childhood. I'm going to share why Pesach used to feel so traumatic for me. Growing up in the 60s and 70s in Golders Green, our Jewish community was so much smaller than it is today. So we had a few local shops. We had the bakery that was Grudzinski's and Parkway. Our butcher was Frowan, and our local shop was Sassons. I'm not quite sure. I'm sure my sister does. But unlike nowadays, where you can get kosher La Pesach products with just a few clicks. Back then, many items had to be specially ordered from local manufacturers like Bonds Matzah, or imported from the US, Europe, and Islam. Now, for my mother, believe it or not, preparing for Pesach, and according to the survey that you did, some people start 3 months in advance, but the majority do it a month in advance. So my mother had to prepare for Pesach as soon as Purim ended, because she would meticulously plan her shopping list. Also, she started inviting guests. So, and she also started doing her menu planning for the whole of Pesach according to the Pesach product list that our kosher store released. Now listen to this. Our order had to be in a week after Purim because everything had to be ordered. And then what we ordered would either not arrive or come in sufficient quantities or too much. And this was a tiny crisis for my mum because she had to do everything again, and she did it without a computer. It had to be done on a piece of paper. And that was just the food. On top of all of that shopping chaos, my mother had to tackle the enormous task of cleaning the entire house of Pesach. So the house would be filled with cleaning supplies, stacks of dishes, an atmosphere of stress that even as a child I could feel. And honestly, I really hated it, but I did adore my mother. She was a wonderful, loving person. But as Pesach approached, she transformed into a bundle of nerves. My siblings and I learned to stay clear of her. So does that sound familiar? With so much to organize and so many things out of control, I always was amazed how she kept cool, calm, and collected on Pesach, but beforehand she wasn't. And now I have to tell you, today I am struck how much easier things are today. Supermarkets are filled with kosher Pesach goods. And if you run out of something, you can simply order it through a delivery app like Wolt and have it on your kitchen table within 20 minutes. Amazing. It's like a miracle compared to what my mum had to go through. And I only wish my mum could have experienced this. She would have been so much happier and calmer. Now, Pesach can be challenging for both logistically and financially, with expenses of food, cleaning, and even new clothing. All of this quickly adds up. But again, with a little strategic planning and smart shopping, you can celebrate Pesach without breaking the bank. So follow this step-to-step guide to manage your shopping expenses effectively, and you might find that Pesach can be stress-free. Yeah. So here are my shopping tips. Like with my mother, plan ahead. This is the chag to be organized, and not wait to the last minute, because I promise you, if you do, you'll pay a dear price. Since prices tend to rise as the chag approaches, and items may sell out, forcing you to buy an expensive alternative. Now, to avoid this pitfall, start by creating a detailed shopping list based on your menu and household needs. And so before you actually set foot in a supermarket, ensure your list includes everything from groceries to cleaning supplies. And that will help you avoid impulse purchases. Also, another thing, and most of you did it, 61% of you did it. You all compared prices online, and that can be really good to sticking to your budget. Another thing is to shop smart. Where and how you can shop can make a huge difference in how you spend. Now, if possible, you can buy dry goods like matzah and kosher Pesach oil in bulk, so that can save money. I know here in Israel, butchers and fishmongers often offer discounts in bulk orders. So why not coordinate with your family and friends to split bulk purchases? Also, on the radio everywhere, they have special promotions and discounts on Pesach. Also, I know places like Osha'ad have very competitive prices, especially if you need to buy in bulk and large quantities. I also know that the Haredim are super duper organized at Pesach, and maybe you can check out places where they buy or perhaps join their co-op. Another thing, that online shopping is a fantastic option, especially if time is at the essence, because we know when we want to go into a supermarket before the Hagim in Israel, it can sometimes take hours. And also, and this is a great tip, prioritize essentials over luxury, because it's so easy to get caught up in the excitement of the hype and buy specialty items that are not essential. Okay? I highly recommend that you focus on necessities and limit expensive extras that can be, it's nice to have. Like my clients use the formula of things that you must have, should have, and nice to have. This could be vital, essential, and nice to have. And my last tip, of course, is to reduce waste and maximize leftovers. And this is due to your menu planning. We've all of us been there, even me, overbuying for Pesach only to end up with more food than we know what to do with. And then we throw it away. So try and cook in sensible portions. Plan your meals based on your guest list, so you're not overcooking and drowning in leftover. And you can also use leftovers as the base for your next meal, like roasted chicken. You can go into a soup or salad, or extra matzah, make delicious matzah bride. You've got extra meat. Well, sometimes you can overcook, so you have it for another meal. You can freeze it. And that's also an alternative. So my last word on shopping, I generally discourage paying for groceries in installments, as everybody knows, because food is a reoccurring expense, unlike buying a fridge. However, if your Pesach bill, shall we say, ends up being extraordinarily high, split it into no more than 2 installments. So, to wrap it all up, take a page from my mother's book and start planning now. You'll save a ton of money and avoid that dreaded overdraft at the end of the month. And remember, Pesach is meant for family relaxation, spiritual reflection, and with some thoughtful planning, you can focus on what truly matters without the stress of financial strain. Any questions? Did you write down those here? Okay, fine. So I'm going to do my last poll, which is, do you find the tips I have given useful? Can you implement them? Yes, that's great. Okay. Oh, somebody wrote no. I'm so sorry. Okay, so here are the results. The person who wrote no, maybe I have a solution for you. Okay, stop sharing. Let's carry on. Okay. I'm going to ask you a question. What made you take time out of your busy schedule to join this webinar today? Are you feeling overwhelmed by the challenges of preparing for Pesach? Is planning an entire menu for the Chag just stressing you out? Or perhaps you're struggling with the balance of buying kosher Pesach food while still making ends meet? Well, today I'm here to make your life so much easier. As a family financial advisor of over 18 years of experience, I've helped hundreds of clients achieve a stress-free and financially successful, I'll just say that again, it didn't come out, successful Pesach. Now it's time to become one of my success stories. So I'm going to actually do something that I've also never done before on a webinar, as I'm going to share with you my testimonial, how I transformed my whole Pesach preparation. So here it is. The time I spent preparing my list was so worthwhile. It ultimately made the workload, cleaning, shopping, cooking, and everything else of Pesach much more organized and manageable. I knew exactly what to do and when, and so did the rest of the family. Pesach had become so much easier to make every single year. Now, if you're tired of spending countless hours preparing Pesach instead of enjoying quality time with your family or taking that well-deserved break, I have a solution for you, because I've designed a special Pesach program tailored specifically to help you. So if you're interested in hearing more tips, simply type yes in the chat box. Okay, I'm going to write yes. Yes, yes. Well, thank you to Sarit and Julie and Helena and Dvora and Taub and me and Debbie. Okay, so I want to say thank you to everybody who said yes, and even if you didn't, it's okay, but I do recommend you stick around because I have an exclusive webinar offer and special bonuses that you dare not want to miss. Now, from what I've really gathered, one of the most challenging aspects, there were two actually. It was preparing for Pesach was the cleaning and the menu, of course, handling the shopping. Now, imagine if I could take this overwhelming task off your plate. How does that feel? Because I have fantastic tools that will help you navigate the daunting Pesach preparation with ease. No matter how organized you are, okay, I know from experience that everybody needs some level of a system when it comes to Pesach planning. That's why I've created this amazing Pesach Smart Savings program to help you get everything in order. Now, over the years, I've guided clients of all backgrounds, young and old, men and women alike, and there's no men on this webinar, whether you're hosting large sedorim or small, observing with or without kidney up, whatever your Pesach challenge is, I've helped clients just for you overcome it. So I would like to give my first bonus away, which is invaluable. Believe you me, I use it for work, I use it for everything. I want to give away everyone who signs up for the Pesach Smart Savings Program. It's an extremely effective and a must-have bonus, and that's my ultimate Pesach flowchart. Because preparing for Pesach it's a monumental task with endless responsibilities, from cleaning to organized shopping, meal planning. And this flowchart simply simplifies the process with a clear step-by-step guide, allowing you to manage everything effortlessly. And this tool is invaluable because it saves you valuable time by outlining exactly what needs to be done and when. Okay, so it transforms the task list to bite-sized manageable tasks. And then you avoid last-minute panic and prevent unnecessary spending just to solve the problems in a rush, because we tend to just throw money. We solve it. We just go and buy. We just do this. In short, the Pesach flowchart is your ultimate tool for a smooth, organized, and stress-free chag. Now, you can actually create one yourself, but why not use a tried and tested version instead? Okay, if that sounds great, then the Pesach Smart Savings program is just for you. Okay, so if you're ready to transform your Pesach experience, let's carry on, because my Pesach Smart Savings program has everything you need to make chag a breeze. As we know, one of the biggest challenges of Pesach is actually planning meals for 8 days. It's like organizing a small wedding with all the Shabbat brachot. So let's talk about the many benefits of using my meal planner, which is my second fantastic bonus. You see, a meal planner saves time, reduces stress, and helps you stay on budget, right? It also eliminates the daily guesswork of what to cook. Now, instead of scrambling at the last minute and making an extra and often costly trip to the supermarket, and also takes a long time because everybody's buying, you'll have everything planned out in advance. Doesn't that sound good? A well-designed meal planner also ensures ingredients are used efficiently across multiple needs, reducing cooking time, waste, because we normally throw away the food, and also saves money. For example, the great ideas use the leftover meat from Seder can be transformed into a delicious shepherd's pie, which is, for me, a family favorite. So if you're feeling stuck on what to cook, I have a great bonus for you. Okay. Now, as you can imagine, I'm a family financial advisor. I'm not a nutritionist, okay, even though I do like to eat. So I have partnered with an amazing woman called Dalia Brunswick. She lives in Switzerland and specializes in healthy kosher meal planning while keeping an eye on the budget. And she has delicious Pesach recipes. And these recipes are designed to please everyone at the table while making the most of every ingredient. No more wasted food or endless hours in the kitchen. It's really important. She's a very busy person, and her meals are very easy to make. So you can imagine serving up budget-friendly, delicious meals that brings everybody together with a smile. Sounds good. Sounds delicious, actually. Now, here's the best part. Everything's computerized. You don't have to work with lists like my mother did. So my third bonus is that for everybody who signs up for my program will see Dalia's Pesach recipe book for free instead of paying $30. And yeah, I think it's worthwhile signing up for the program just to receive her book. So I'm going to ask you, how much are you prepared to invest in having a stress-free Pesach? Maybe 1,000 shekels? Think about it. Wouldn't it be worth it to save you hours and hours of work? Remember, time equals money. And the most precious commodity today is time. Like this testimonial. She actually told me that she used my program and it was completely different. She transformed her Pesach. I'm so pleased that I took your Pesach Smart Savings program because the flow chart helped me organize everything from the cleaning, when I actually sat down to plan the menu and when it was time to shop. The menu planner simplified meals and the shopping list kept me on budget. I saved money without stress and enjoyed a beautifully planned chag. I highly recommend your program to anyone wanting a financially smart, well-prepared Pesach. So I also like to introduce my fourth bonus in the program. Yes, there are vegan meals in the book, if you want to know. I'm going to introduce you to my ultimate Pesach shopping list. Because we know that Pesach is an expensive chag with everything, kosher Pesach products and the special ingredients. So a well-structured shopping list is essential and also keeps costs under control. So I'm going to tell you how it helps. It prevents overspending. By sticking to a list, you avoid impulse buying, right? It's very important we don't get these impulse purchases. We have to actually buy what is necessary, then I will help you stay on budget. Maximize savings, because the list will also allow you to compare prices, take advantage of sales and buy in bulk when it makes sense. Also, it saves time and reduces stress. Instead of wandering the hours or thinking, oh, do I need that or don't need that? A details list helps you keep focused, and it eliminates those expensive last-minute dashes to the McCollet at the end of the road. Also makes delegating so much easier because the list is so specific. You can confidently send someone else to go shopping. Doesn't that sound good? Or even do the shopping online, but you don't need to do it. Somebody else can do it. Most importantly, a shopping list based on a well-planned menu ensures that you buy what you need, saving you cooking time in the kitchen, preventing food waste, and also cutting costs. So if you're looking for a shortcut, my fourth bonus in the ultimate Pesach saving shopping list is tried, tested, and ready to use. And if you join my Pesach Smart Savings program, you will receive a customized template tailored to your needs. So I'm going to ask you, how much you be prepared to invest to streamline your Pesach shopping and cut unnecessary expenses? 700 shekels? Maybe that's the amount you could actually save by using my templates. So let's make Pesach simple, stress-free, and budget-friendly. We all know that preparing for Pesach can be both emotionally and physically demanding for the entire family. But when you have a solid plan in place, like outlined in my Pesach Smart Savings program, it gives you peace of mind, allowing you to focus on other aspects of the chag. So my Pesach Smart Saving program is actually your shortcut to a stress-free chag. So what does the program include? Here it is. We have a 60-minute session, and it's all about tailoring the templates to fit your needs so your Pesach preparations are smooth, stress-free, and you stay on budget, meaning from being disorganized to having an organized plan to get you through Pesach without having any sleepless nights because you're just working too much. We also have the bonus number one with my flowchart template. Helps you pace yourself before the hug so you can actually enjoy Seder night. Bonus two, my computerized meal plan. No more endless lists. This tool saves time and money by keeping everything organized in one place, and no more umpteen dozen lists all over the place. Also, we have my lovely bonus from Dalia. She has a recipe book with delicious, healthy, and budget-friendly recipes from Dalia. And I know that you're going to thank me for this bonus. And of course, bonus number 4, the comprehensive shopping templates that covers everything from toothpaste to toothpicks, from cleaning supplies to matzah, from vegetables to meat. Imagine the relief of being this organized. Okay, now, for more information about this program, I will be sending a follow-up email after the webinar, so look out for the webinar. In fact, it should be sent already by now. Now, as I mentioned, you can spend hours and hours creating your own lists, or you can use these tried and tested templates to save time, money, and effort. The choice is yours. So I'm going to now give an exclusive webinar offer, but it's time limited, okay? So the special offer for those of you who recognize an opportunity and act on it, the Pesach Smart Savings Program is going to be marketed for only 531 shekels, but it's only available until the 4th of April, because otherwise it's going to be too near Pesach. I need to ask yourself, is this investment worth it, knowing that a structured plan will reduce stress and save money? But this year, we have seen a sharp rise in food and the overall cost of living. And I really understand the financial challenges many families face. And because I want to help as many families as possible, I decided to offer an exclusive bonus for those who are still here and ready to take action. So for everyone who stayed until the end of the webinar, thank you for all your early birds. And those who really know a good deal when they see one, I have an exclusive offer for you. So I won't ask you to pay 1,000 shekels or 700 shekels or 531 shekels, even though the program is worth its weight in gold, because the insights and tool you're going to again, are truly invaluable. I'm going to offer this incredible program for just 325 shekels, which is a savings of over 200 shekels. Yeah, but there is a catch. The special one-time offer is only available until midnight tonight. You know what? I'm going to do something completely different. I've never, ever, ever done this on a webinar. And also, I want to say thank you for everybody who turned up and also stayed to the end. As I said, I've never done this on a webinar, but I feel that this is the time of year that we need to give. So what I'm going to be doing as a special webinar offer for the 10 people tonight who register for the program, and it's only valid until midnight tonight, the investment of this program is only 194 shekels. How do you register? You just click on the link that's going to appear at the side of the screen, and you will you'll access this secure site. All you need to do is enter your details and your credit card, and I'll be so happy to start working with you. So I'm sure you're asking, why should you join? I think the 194 shekels, you're actually investing your financial well-being and your mental well-being. You'll gain expert guidance from my years of experience and the ability to join the chag without financial stress. Now, for those of you who are joining from abroad, yes, you can pay with Paybox, but then you'd have to contact with me, Tila. For those who are joining abroad, I had people signing up from the UK, from the US, from South Africa, from France. I don't know if they're here tonight, but if you are, you're most welcome. You can pay with your credit card. So let's just recap what we're going to get in the program. You're going to have a 60-minute session, and it's all about tailoring the templates to fit your needs, and also to answer your questions. Your Pesach preparations are smooth and stress-free, and you also stay on budget. We also have bonus number 1, the flow chart template. Invaluable. Helps you pace yourself before the chag so you can actually enjoy Seder night. And bonus 2, the computerized meal plan templates. That everything is there in place. No more endless lists. You know exactly what you're going to be serving up every single day. And of course, the bonus number 3, which is Dalia's recipes from her fantastic Pesach recipe book. And bonus 4 is the comprehensive shopping list. Covers everything, as I say, from toothpicks to toothpaste to toothbrushes, from matzah, vegetables, meat. It covers everything. It's just great to be so organized. Remember, this offer won't last. It's only available for the 10 people who sign up tonight and up to midnight tonight. So don't miss out. Secure your spot now before it's too late. Remember, just click on the link that appears in the chat box in order to sign up. And if you want to think about that, no problem. You should have received a email by now, or you can contact me directly. And now I am going to, what's it called? Answer questions. And I'm not going to mute. No. You can unmute yourself and ask questions. I know one of the questions that people are going to ask is, where will the meeting take place? Well, the meeting is going to take place on Zoom. Because I don't expect anybody to come and to run out. You're most welcome to. I make a wonderful cup of tea. It's English tea. So everything's done on Zoom at a time that is convenient for you. And if you have a partner as well that wants to come, they are most welcome to come. Any other questions? Let's have a look. I'll be happy if I can change. Yes, it's no problem to pay. I'm so pleased, Sharon, that you got some really good tips out of that. Good on you. Yeah, one of the biggest challenges is actually the meal planning, because we tend to buy new food for every meal, and we don't take into consideration leftovers. And that's what I have found with clients. And also when you have a meal planner, you don't go off down to the local McCullough, which is so expensive on chag, to just top up. Okay, pickies can make it difficult to plan a meal too. That's a really good, Tehila, that's a really good question, and a very good comment. What I normally recommend to my clients is that the picky eaters help you plan a meal. So they'll never be in a situation saying, I'm not going to eat that. And you're going to say, of course you did. You chose it. Yeah, that's it's a good one. It's a very, very good one. Okay, fine. Are there vegan meals? Helena, how do you manage on vegan on Pesach? Wow. Oh, wow. Fega, it's great. Chickpeas are also very, it's the beef. Yeah, and it's also much, much cheaper. Anyhow. Okay, so ladies, this is the first webinar. There were two things. There's always the first that I only gave just to women, and I gave a super duper webinar offer that I've never done ever. So yeah, it's great. Thank you. Right, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. No, there's no gentlemen. Thank you so much for your time. And I wish you all a Chag Sameach.
Thank you.
We're going to end.